want to be able to extract the juice from your lemons, you can poke them with a fork if they don't have enough juice, if they're not really juicy lemons, and, or use a reamer. This is a nice juicy lemon. So this guy's going in there.
Is there a reason you don't just put it in like you did yesterday?
Yes. The question is, yesterday we made energy soup, and that was in the blender. So I used the peeled lemon, including the pith, the white part, because it has bioflavonoids. But that was in a blender. Today we're using a Cuisinart, and the pith, you know, it's not going to be blended up as much. You're going to have little chunks maybe of lemon. So in this recipe I use the juice. So we're doing, yeah, you could even go a little smaller.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. You're doing great. I just love having a sous chef. What a luxury. You want to come to my house?
Sure.
She saw the DVD, so she knows what we're doing here. Yep. And while I'm just getting the pits out of here, I'll tell you about Ann Wigmore Institute. That was my boot camp. I've been to all the raw food retreats, but the boot camp, my very first retreat, was Ann Wigmore Institute. So I'm kind of indoctrinated with Dr. Ann's teachings about using the whole natural foods as much as possible. And so I've taken some of her recipes and just kicked them up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put some carrots in here. And I kind of eyeball some of this, a little bit of onion, and we can chop up some celery. And I'm going to be putting today some sunflower seeds. So this is a sunflower seed pate. And today we're going to flavor it with some cilantro and some curry. You know, turmeric in the curry is very, very healthy for you. It reduces inflammation. So it's nice to have all healthy herbs and spices. Cilantro, for example, pulls heavy metals out of the body. So I like incorporating fresh herbs from my windowsill. Everybody should have a little windowsill garden.
Did you soak those?
These are soaked overnight, yes, in the refrigerator. As a matter of fact, I left them in the refrigerator, and Robert had to run back to get them this morning. It's been a 3-day expo. So, but at least we're here, and we're all happening. Now I'm going to do this in batches so we can get everyone to taste it. So I'm going to put a little Celtic salt. You don't have to put this. You could use just the dulse, but that's up to you. This is a drop of cayenne pepper, or maybe not a drop. Well, you know, cayenne pepper actually is good for you. What it does is it dilates the blood vessels, the capillaries. So, you know, you're really pushing the blood through with that, and I like it. I like it. Here's a little curry. And it's nice to have a variety of flavors in what you're making. So this is something I want to tell you about. These are organic raisins in their soak water. So we're going to be using the liquid as well as the raisins to sweeten it up a little bit. So it's kind of like an Indian curry, but with you know, a little bit of the onion flavor, some of the curry, a little bit of sweet. So you're really having a satisfactory meal. You know, part of the sensation of eating that we miss as raw foodists is the olfactory senses. You know, we eat with our eyes and our noses. The aromas of hot, steamy food is something that we as raw foodists miss. So I like to make sure that we're still getting some of the flavors and aromas of spices, and, you know, because that's what gets the salivation happening and is a more satisfying meal. So we're going to put some plump little raisins in here. And I'm using the soak liquid, the soaking liquid. And we're going to blend this up.
And what was that liquid?
This is the soaking liquid of the raisins.
So that's just water?
Yeah, it's the distilled water that they've been soaking in.
You don't need the celery.
Oh yeah, I left out some of the celery. Now you can also put celery diced up at the very end if you want to. If you want your pate to be with more texture and crunch. Today I'm going to just put some in right now. Thank you, sous chef.
I'll cut some fine for later.
Okay, that's good for now. Okay. Yeah. Whoop. I always do that. Every time I take it, the thing goes flying out. Alrighty. So I'm going to just put batch number 1 down in here. I can take questions while I'm preparing this. Does anyone have anything else? Yes, in the blue.
I live alone, so I wanted to know, can some of these things be frozen in individual servings?
I don't freeze. I make everything fresh. And for example, the energy soup, when you're blending your greens, you don't want them to oxidize. Hi guys, you found me. Welcome. You've already missed half the class. I'm sorry they mixed up the rooms. I'm so sorry. Well, anyway, just really quickly, we're making a seed pate, prashad, if you will. So it has some raisins, carrots, celery, onion, lemon juice, some curry powder, some Celtic salt, some cayenne pepper, and the sunflower seeds. So that's what we're making. And I think you're already familiar, you guys that I met before, you're familiar with the raw living food movement already. So I don't need to do the overview of why we're not heating food over 115 degrees and all that stuff. Okay, any other questions while I'm making this? Yes?
Sometimes you can't get organic. Organic is ridiculously priced. Are you okay with not using organic?
The question is organic, if you can't get organic. There's a wonderful website that I'm going to send you to, the environmentalworkinggroup.com. And they have a produce wash there of vinegar, baking soda, or grapefruit seed extract, water, and you can do a produce wash. I, myself, love to shop at the local farmers markets. And they're all over the city. You can always find a local farmer or farmer's market. And I ask them, what kind of pesticides are you using? What do you use? Most of them really don't. They're all very conscious. It's a difficult process to get them to be certified. So yeah, buy local and use a produce wash. Yes?
Name the website once more?
Environmentalworkinggroup.com. And they have a list of the dirty dozen that are really with pesticides. Then they have the clean 15. And to that I always add, sprout your own superfoods. These are really the best way to go. You know they're organic because you made them yourself with clean, purified water. I explained sprouting yesterday. I'll go through it again if we have time. But right now, let me just make batch number 2.